Hello and welcome to Stellaris with me, Gerishnakov. That's not my real name, of course, but it's the name I use for my online activities. So, I love Stellaris. I know it's only been out a few days, but I've accrued almost 50 hours of game time, which is a testament to how much I've enjoyed playing it so far. I'm sorry if you can hear any noises around my video here. I'm on quite a busy road in Brighton. So there's a lot of beeping and stuff that goes on in the background. Anyway, I am going to start a new game, and I'm going to do it with a custom race I've created, which is the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. I used to have quite a fascination with communism when I was a teenager, which I have thankfully grown out of, but my online name, Gerishnakov, is just a sort of hangover of that, but it's stuck, so I've kept with it. And anyway, I think they'd be quite fun to roleplay as. So we are human. In fact, I will take you through my creation of this race. I've done it already, but we'll go through it anyway. So let's go to the edit screen. So we are mammalian, we're human. I've got some blue and green people here, but of course we aren't them. We are humans, and the objective is human. We're going to use a modded leader name, which is the Slavic one, so we get some nice Russian names. And I've gone with the standard human build, so we just quick learn as a nomadic. That's from the vanilla version of Stellaris. Our leader is called Fyodor Titov. It's just a random name I generated, but you know, I made the clothes look kind of nice and communist and Russian. He's got a beard. He looks kind of Slavic and Russian. Although I should say that of course we are playing as a united Earth. Essentially this is an alternate history playthrough where the Soviet Union won the Cold War and eventually united the entire globe under the iron fist of the Soviet Union. So the game is set in the year 2200, so it's 200 years in the future from now, when humanity has gloriously achieved the ability to travel to the stars thanks to the beneficial effects of communist totalitarian rule. So we're playing on Earth, in the Sol system. I am using a mod that expands the Sol system to include quite a lot of other planets, which just should make it a bit more fun. It might be a little bit overpowered, but it's fine. So, our city appearance is just mammalian, which is of course sort of human looking. And we are a despotic hegemony, which means we are a materialistic form of autocracy where citizens are viewed as little more than cogs in the glorious Soviet machinery. Efficiency and technological progress are valued above all things, so we get a bonus to research speed. So, to achieve that, we are collectivist, which means society has long since evolved past the insignificant rivalries and concerns of individuals. We are numerous but one, and the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. I could have gone with fanatic collectivist, but I feel like that's a bit too extreme, plus I was put off by the 100% slavery tolerance. I mean, the Soviet Union didn't exactly have 100% slavery tolerance, but we do have a little bit, for gulags and stuff like that. We are also militarist. I didn't necessarily want to pick like an aggro trait, but the description here sort of sells me on it, which is the only true virtues are courage and discipline, and channeled properly they can overcome any obstacle. Therein lies the true strength, force withheld, promise made. That sounds, classically Soviet to me. We're also materialist, which means as we reach for the stars we must put away childish things, gods, spirits and other phantasms of the brain. Reality is cruel and unforgiving, yet we must steel ourselves and secure the survival of our race through the unflinching pursuit of science and technology. Which of course, that sounds very Soviet Union-y as well. Alright, so moving on. The empire known as the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. Our adjective is Soviet. I've chosen a nice red star, which, is nice. I mean, there are some mods to add the proper hammer and sickle, but I didn't want the AI to end up using that randomly. So, the star is fine. We're going to go with missile weapons, because that's, classic Earth-bound technology. I mean, you start with nuclear missiles as well, which just makes sense to me. We're going with wormhole travel because I feel like that's the centralized control of interstellar travel. Only the state should control who can go beyond Earth space. And by controlling our wormholes, of course, our wormhole stations, that means the state will control them. Let me just grab a drink of water. We're going to use mammalian ships. I didn't talk about our homeworld. Where are we? Homeworld. Name and class. So we're a continental world, obviously that's Earth, which means we get bonuses. We can colonise continental worlds, but we also can colonise tropical worlds for 60% habitability, and habitability, if you haven't played Stellaris, is the cap on how happy your colonists can be. So if I colonised a tropical planet, the cap would be 60% happiness. They could never be happier than 60% happy, unless we have some bonuses that allow improved happiness. I mean, if we look at our government and ethics, I think collectivist might improve that. No, just slavery tolerance. War happiness. So if we were at war, we'd get slightly, we'd be allowed to be slightly happier. But our traits might also improve it. No, resettlement cost. No. So yeah, it's all about the cap on the happiness. So we want to be prioritising continental worlds, obviously, and tropical worlds and ocean worlds, then desert and Arctic. I do feel like this is a bit weird, where it goes from tundra to arid. I mean, it's a little bit gamey in that I guess they had to balance it, but you know, I feel like if you colonise the tundra world, you shouldn't be able to colonise arid. I mean, that's hot, that's cold. Similar amounts of water, I guess, but yeah. Anyway, continental makes sense at least, because I feel like we're only really going to be colonising these three and Gaia worlds that come up. Although I have set in the game's files the amount of colonisable worlds to be halved, because I am using a mod that allows us to colonise non-colonisable planets. So toxic worlds, barren worlds, frozen worlds, and I think if it's been updated, tomb worlds. The idea being that we can send robots to those planets to work them for minerals and for research. And the other thing that the mod adds is the ability to terraform those with, I think, a kind of mid-game technology, where if we wanted to, we could, for instance, in our home system, terraform Venus or Mars into habitable planets. I'm not sure if those are a little bit overpowered at the moment, where the technology is too easily available. But we shall see. You know, it's the first time playing with that mod, so we'll see how we go. Anyway, I've halved the amount of colonisable planets, so that should temper the overpoweringness if it is overpowered, because it'll make it more valuable. So we're going to play on a medium star system. We're going to play elliptical. No, we're not. We're going to play spiral 2 arms, because that is the shape of the Milky Way galaxy. We'll stick with the recommended amount of AI empires and AI starts, advanced ones. Go with normal difficulty. We'll allow any FTL method, because I don't see any reason why not. Plus you can kind of make for some fun situations where you might spawn next to an empire that uses hyperspace and then end up accidentally blocking off all of their access to the rest of the galaxy, as I did in another game. We'll turn Iron Man off. In fact, I'm just going to go back and check how often it saves. Semi-annually. What is that? Quarterly, semi-annually, annually? Semi-annually seems fine. Actually, no, let's go for quarterly. That's every 3 months. Yeah, that's fine. So, new game. Union of Socialist Soviet Republics. I said that wrong, but never mind. Let's go with them. We'll play, and we'll start a game. I'm looking forward to seeing what the new Sol system looks like. Alright, so... in the eons since the first primitive communities took shape on the grassy savannas of Earth, our civilization has spread and prospered. Despite our rapid progression through the technological ages, as a species we were fragmented and inefficient. A new system emerged, a glorious new system, during these chaotic times that delivered us from superstitious beliefs and brought order to society. Some resisted this change out of irrational fear, but after several pacification wars that miraculously did not involve nuclear weapons, they too became productive components of a greater whole. Now, after a successful creation of artificial subspace wormholes through the glorious efforts of Soviet scientists, the finest minds of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics have finished construction of the first wormhole station at the edge of our system, which I assume will be beyond Pluto. The stars themselves are finally within our grasp. Okay, so let's begin.
Greetings, Overlord.
We are
I am
paused.
Vea, a prototype synthetic intelligence developed
I'm
by
gonna
the
turn this
finest
off. I've
minds
pretty
of our
much
side.
played it
Urge you to reconsider.
I've not done that before. Wow, we've got a lot of habitable worlds in our solar system. Oh, it's because they are... Right, so this is because... Oh, I have just realised there is one thing, an issue with the habitable worlds that might pop up for some AI empires, where I think the mod currently doesn't prevent empires from spawning with, say, molten worlds or barren worlds as their home planet, which, as standard, they have 0% habitability, so everyone on that planet is going to be insanely unhappy. Like, their happiness cap is 0, so they just won't be happy at all. But anyway, we'll see if that happens. We're not, of course, we are continental, so we're okay. Alright, let's have a little look around the solar system then. So, I wonder if he'll at some point work out a way to turn that off until you research the tech. That would be... Or, you know, turn it off until... Oh, and I guess it can... Yeah, look, does not have robotic workers. That's fine. And hopefully that'll only turn green once we get robotic workers. So that's quite cool. Anyway, I think he added extra moons to Jupiter and stuff, so possibly Callisto is new, I think. I don't know if Jupiter had 4 moons before. Oh, there's no Pluto! That's actually good, because I don't think Pluto should be a planet, because it is only a dwarf planet. So that's good. It just added Triton to Neptune, and I think Uranus? No? Oh, okay. Maybe the mod's outdated, the Expanded Sol mod. But anyway, looks like the Colonized mod is working, so that's cool. Tell you about the Expanded Sol system not being in the game, but, you know, I'm not really that bothered. All it did really was add a few extra moons to some of the gas giants, like I think it added Titania to Uranus. No jokes, please. And it added Pluto and Eris, another dwarf planet outside Pluto, which I wasn't keen on because, as I said, I don't think dwarf planets should be in the game, because it's theorised that dwarf planets like Pluto and Eris are one of hundreds, if not many, maybe thousands of little tiny planetoids that orbit like way, way out here in the Oort cloud. So, you know, where do you stop counting them as planets, basically? Alright, this is good. So, let's get going. If we look at our planet first of all, let's look at Earth. So, our governor is Alexander Larionov. He's fairly good. There's no special things to him, but yeah, anyway, we've got a planet population of 7, which I count that as being 7 billion, basically, which makes sense to me. So, is everyone working nice, efficient tiles? Yeah, more or less. We do want the growth at this point. We want to make sure we grow nice and quick. We don't want to go using our energy up because we're only producing +5, although to be honest, the only thing that uses energy is clearing tiles, I think, in the early game. So, yeah, let's clear a tile. Any food tiles? Yeah, let's clear a food tile. Cool, so that's clearing a food tile out. Oh, we've still got 12 energy, look. And let's get our survey ship going. So what I love about Earth is, before the game came out, I worried, I don't know why, I worry about stupid things, that Earth would just be a standard random looking continental planet, but it's not. If you actually zoom in on it, there's the actual continents. So you've got Africa, the Middle East, India. Lovely. And it does rotate as well, which is cool. I don't think the planets orbit. I haven't noticed them orbiting. But I guess if you put the game on full speed and just watch the solar system, it might. But that's a bit of a weird thing to do with the game. So yeah, science ship. Now, the main thing you use these for is surveying planets. So, I'm just going to click on Luna, survey system, and then the game will just make it do the whole system for us, which is nice and handy. In some early videos I saw, people were using the construction ship to follow the survey ship around until it found something to do. But that actually costs you energy. It's better to leave it in orbit because you get a discount on your ship maintenance. I don't know where it shows that, but you do get a discount on it. And the fleet of 3 corvettes here is also just orbiting around the planet. While we're looking at the corvettes, let's look at our ship designer and make sure that the corvettes are nice and efficient. Yep. Do we need 2 fusion reactors? Fission reactors? Yeah, we do. Okay, so we can get rid of that. Also, there's a mod I've installed that adds the ability to customize transport ships. Now, the game will update them automatically if you have this ticked, but I really like to min-max my designs of ships, so I have this turned off quite a lot. This just allows me to update my transport ships. Oh, actually, yeah, corvettes. Do we need a different core? I guess the Soviet Union is like a first strike kind of empire, so having a medium nuclear missile kind of makes sense. It just does more damage. So yeah, that's good. One thing we can do actually with our military fleet, if we head out to the Empire screen, the Galactic screen, we can use them, if we toggle on extra information, to go check out these stars. Now these are all outside of our sensor range here. This is our wormhole range, so we can visit any of the stars in this at the moment. Which means we need to, because we don't actually know what's in this system if we go in. We know how many planets there are, but not what kind of planets there are. So we should tell our military fleet to visit all the stars in our space to start with. So what I'll do is I'll just queue these up. So go visit Barnard Star, then Alpha Centauri, then Travelor, and then that's fine. We'll tell you what to do after that. So, let me just grab some more water. We'll do our research next. So we've got some scientists. She is expert at field manipulation, which sadly we don't have a technology for yet. Although maybe it's down here? No. She's will live longer and she just researches faster. So she's pretty good. We'll probably use her to research our first technology because she'll just do it faster. So, what do we want? Extra research speed? That seems to be a good idea. We don't necessarily need that just yet. And we have to build that to get bonuses to physics, whereas this is just across the board. So yeah, let's just do that. And let's switch her to researching that. So where's she gone? There she is. Let's put her back. Next one. Ability to colonize. Maybe not so important because I have halved the number of colonizable worlds at the start. We don't need a military academy, but it would be good to have extra influence, so let's just go for that. And we don't need defense platforms. Ion thrusters would be good. That will speed up our survey ship and construction ships, so let's stay for that. Okay, so that's all good. I think all that's left now before we unpause is to just have a look at our policies and our edicts as well. So we're reducing +3 influence at the moment. What we could do is encourage 3 forts. I mean, that's not a particularly Soviet thing to do. What's our ethics divergence? It's not going to be very high. Your homeworld has really low ethics divergence. -1.2. Capital world -10. Yeah, so that's not important. We don't need to do that. Maybe encourage 3 thought. Nah, let's just stick with it. It's good to have influence. We want to build an outpost at some point, and you need influence to do that. Plus, we can issue an edict on our home planet with more influence. Policies. How's all this looking? So, static war economy, slavery's allowed. Yeah, that's fine. There's our gulags. Slave procreation. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, wait. Why can't I click on these? Maybe we have to have slaves before we can do that. Purging is allowed. Of course we can purge. If Stalin allowed it, then we allow it. We could prohibit this, I guess. Nah, stick with it for now. Limited orbital bombardment, which is a bit more than light. Allows the use of all but the heaviest of orbital ordnance, ensuring that the majority of civilians survive, even if their infrastructure does not. Yeah, that sounds good. Migration is prohibited. I think I'm going to switch this over to allowed. Yeah, let's switch that over. Free migration. Especially as we don't necessarily even want to limit it to the primary species, you know. We welcome workers of all races, all species. Everyone strives for a greater tomorrow. Resettlement is allowed, so we can move people around ourselves if we want to. No voting. Leadership is restricted to the primary species. We need to unlock a tech before we can change that, and I will change that at some point. And first attack protocol can attack neutral entities. Oh yeah, that's good. I want to be able to attack neutral entities. We have to protect our borders. I think I changed that in one of my other things because I thought that would mean we'd attack everything on sight. But no, that just means we can attack them if we want to. So that's good. Okay, I think we're ready to unpause. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cut in here and I will come back in the next video and we'll start this playing off. Alright, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. This was my first ever video that I've ever made, so yeah, please come back for more. Cheers, bye bye.